Hey everybody, here's a quick mini tutorial for the array block. Just one use case of what type of things you can do with it. So I think it's in the logic data array. So this can store and recall values depending on index. If I hover here, I see that this is the right index, and this is read index. They refer to the same thing. One is for writing, one is for reading. And here you get the value. So what does it mean? Let me give you an example. We take a custom dial and I read out. Okay. And I'll get 1 S2E just to get some numbers here. Okay. So let me connect one here. So you see the dial sends numbers 0 to 1. And this can send any number. So I'm going to connect the dial. I'm going to have another dial here. I'm going to connect this dial to the index value. Then I'm going to connect this to the index right. Then I'm going to have another one here for the index read. Now, what it does basically is I can set an index, then a value, and then another index and another value. Now, if I jump between the two indexes here, it's going to read the values that I gave. So here, this is this one, and this is the previous one. Again, let me go to index number 0. I'll put it on 1. And on index number 1, I'll put it on 0. Now I'll go between the two, 1, 0. There you go. And of course, you can connect this to any interface or anything you want. And like this, you can store and recall different values. And of course, you can put any value in any index number. But the more index numbers you have, if you have like 1 million indexes, then your patch is going to be very, very heavy because it's going to have to remember and recall a lot of different values. The more you add, the least good it is. So it's better to try and keep these to a minimum. But of course, you can still have like 1,000 different indexes and probably more. Okay, so what do I want to try and build right now is something for the project that RAS is working on, this kind of beat slicer or an MPC. And he has a single bubble player that has a bubble. Let's get a long bubble. Okay, and put it here. And he is trying to save and recall different states of this bubble per pad. Okay, let's do this. So now we have that working. And now let's have 2 pads. And each one, I want each one to have play a different part of this bubble. So, and I want to be able to edit these parts of the bubble. Okay, so now I'm gonna have, so if I play this, they both play the same thing. Now I want that when I hit one of them, I can change the starting point, for example. All right, so let's do that. Take a dial, and here on the back I have set begin time. Okay, so let me just connect it here, and now you can see that I can change set start time. Let me maybe make the range a bit bigger so I have more control. I'll get a multiplier, and I'll multiply that 0 to 1 by 10. So now it's going to go over 10 seconds. Cool. Great. So now I want to store that when I change this, it's gonna store this. Okay, so what do? I'll take, let me remove everything here. Now, okay, so let's say this is pad number 1. We're gonna store this in index number 1. Let's get a number. You can use a get for this. Or let's say, yeah, this is index number 0. And this is index number 1. Now I'm gonna put this into here. And this will be triggering both my read and my write indexes. So when I hit this, it's gonna set the read and the write. Okay. So now, when I hit this, it's gonna set to 0. When I hit this, it's gonna set to 1. And this, I want it to be my go to the, let's remove these 1 second. Okay. So this, the one that goes to set the start time, I'm gonna use that to set the index of this. But I'm also gonna let it set it. Actually, it's better to take it from the thing itself, because I want it to also that it will also affect this dial. Okay, so now let's try it. There's this and there's that. Okay, now let's try to tweak this. Okay, cool. And tweak this. Okay, it almost works. The only thing that's missing is that you see, if I play this and then I play this, it doesn't trigger that. It moves it, but it doesn't play it. It keeps playing that from this place. It basically jumps back to the thing. That's because of ordering. So in the execution order, first it's playing the sample based on the previous starting time, and only then it changes the starting time. So what we want is that the playing of the sample will happen last, only after it triggered the new begin time. So how can we do that? Well, we can look here at the numbers. So I see that first it goes to play. This is number 1 and this is number 2. I wonder what happens if we switch these. And we first, so this is number 1 and this is number 2. Let's see. And also here. See this number? If I reconnect it, it's gonna be number 2. So now it first will trigger this to read. Also here, it first triggers the write and then the read. Maybe it should first go to the read. So let me just reconnect this, and now first gonna trigger the read, and then it will trigger the sample. Let's see. Okay, now we have a problem. It overrides. Why is that? Let's see. So what's happening here? First, it triggers the index. Maybe it's something that we did here. So first it reads, then it sends the thing, and then it sends the write, so it overrides that connection. Okay, let's try that again. When first we tell it to write, then we tell it to read. Let's try that. So let's change this. There you go. And we can always edit this. Okay, let's try it with a different sample. This should be nice. Maybe more clear to hear. There you go. Okay, we solved it live. Now, the more things you want to store and recall, the more data arrays you will need. But you can use the same logic and have a few of them, and that should be working just fine. And when you encounter these kind of issues, like I did, unexpected things, you have to ask yourself, okay, what is the order of execution, and go through it in your head. At least that's what I'm doing. Sometimes it can be a challenge, but it's very satisfying once you get it right. That's it. See you later.